Bwana Director and your board and your lovely wife, the principal, Mabuto, and all staff of Jodan College of Technology, esteemed parents and guardians of these lovely graduates here today, the graduating class of 2024-2025, distinguished guests, including my colleagues from government, Naomi, Susan, and Maurice, and any other government official who may be here, partners from industry, the banks are here, a qualification awarding body, ICM, is also here, the sign language interpreter. I want to recognize you. Funny man, MC, Tricky, and your co-MC, you are doing very well. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Of course, it's always tricky when you are the last one to speak. And especially so when your speech has already been published in the graduation booklet, and therefore everybody knows what you're going to say. Indeed, that's what I intend to say, and you will just allow me to maybe read through. But as I do, just in case I forget, we're here today because of the graduates. You people have walked the journey. You've put in the efforts. Government has provided the environment in which you have learned. Simon Macau has invested, and you have gone through an accredited institution. I'm here today to give you confidence that indeed what you have is valid. What you'll be given is valid certification. As the director mentioned, as he was welcoming me here, when I came from Nairobi, my first stop was where is this facility itself? The principal knows, and I told him I would not have come to this ground to grace this occasion, the graduation, if he had not met the minimum requirements that the authority has set. So, Director, before I requested to visit your facility, the principal may have told you that I had already put him on task to prove very many things. Because he was very daring to invite the inspector himself to come and grace a graduation. Inspectors will come around to check everything that you are doing. The confidence that he had to invite the inspector himself to come and grace the occasion means he's complying with the standards that we have set. May I therefore introduce myself as briefly the director had mentioned. I come from the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authority, Kenya. In short, it's TVETA. TVETA is within the Ministry of Education in the State Department of TVET. My colleague Maurice Sifuna is from the State Department of Basic Education. We have staff within the University State Department, but I come from TVET. So the standards upon which your institution is registered are developed by ourselves. When the principal was talking about your history of 18 years, I knew this college 13 years ago. So everything that has happened, I've seen it happen. The photo you see in your graduation booklet was taken right here when I was presiding over your graduation in 2023. I want to speak to what MC Tricky talked about. That if now you are seated in this stand of hairdressing, tomorrow you should be the one for business. In 2023, when I came here, I came to represent my CEO, Dr. 𝐾𝐲𝐿𝐴𝐻 at that time. I'm now the Acting Director General and CEO of TVETA. You can be anything. That's what I'm saying. Simply just don't be rigid. Don't be rigid and say, I've learned this and this is what I'm going to practice. We have a live example here of a mechanical engineer who is making money from comedy. May I read just one statement from the speech that was prepared for me, ladies and gentlemen, because I know the main thing is your graduation, and that's what we're waiting for. The TVET space has become quite busy. That is expected because of the dynamic nature of industry and skill requirement. Not forgetting the cross-generational issues and learning habits. People my age learned differently. People your age are learning differently by the sheer availability of technology and the dynamics of life. So you have a person of a different generation like myself teaching you who is a Gen Z. So we have to be awake to very many things, and that's why then you find the TVET space being really very busy. You people, we understand, are fairly restless. That's why there's been a policy shift to competence-based education and training, in short CBET, and modular curricula that allow for greater flexibility in terms of entry and exit, with the focus on employable skills. From where we sit, transition from the competence-based education, that is CBE, to CBET shall be seamless because TVET is ready. From the shows that we were seeing about the various courses that are being offered here, we see people who are doing what they are learning. And that is what CBET is about, and that is what CBE is about. Therefore, that transition for us, we are ready. We don't know about the other sectors, but from basic education, more as they come to TVET, we are ready for them. Other initiatives that the government is making touch on dual training. I liked it when my colleague Naomi from the hospital was talking here, especially in relation to the medical training. In the morning, you are at Jodan College. In the afternoon, you are in the hospital practicing what you have learned. That's dual. We are looking at greater partnership between training institutions and industry, so that industry can tell us what exactly they want us to teach and train. The issue of micro-credentials is also coming up very quickly. That we don't want to keep you in school for 3 years, 4 years. There are things that you can learn in a week or 2. And that is a standard, therefore, I'm promising to deliver within this year to ensure that the micro-credentials come out in a standardized way. Talking about standards and the generation that we are dealing with, we are looking at developing a standard on development of digital content. People earning a living from that. So as it's being taught, we don't want it to remain random. That is something we are going to standardize. We are going to deliver a standard on digital content for curriculum developers and institutions that are implementing the same. And as we work with the county governments, because we know vocational training is devolved, and there's an aspect that we rarely talk about, the homecraft centers. We're also developing a standard to govern the management and general implementation of activities within the homecraft centers. When you live here, go and read about TVET in India and how the Indian economy has developed to be where they are. They focused on what is known as the cottage industry. The cottage industry in Kenya is what we're calling the homecraft centers. They have not peaked. The constitution has been there since 2010, but that specific part of it has not peaked. I promise to deliver a standard on the same within this financial year. Ladies and gentlemen, whereas I mentioned that we are ready for the transition at policy level from CBE to CBET, individual TVET institutions should prepare adequately. The focus should be on provision of appropriate infrastructure, including connectivity, equipment, qualified staff, and internal quality assurance systems. And that's the reason why my first stop when I came to Thika this morning was at your college, the Jodan College of Technology. I wanted to confirm that indeed the infrastructure is good, and I confirmed that. I confirmed that you have equipment. I've confirmed that you have staff. I will advise the principal, therefore, to strengthen the internal quality assurance system, and that's one area where TVETA can support you to establish internal quality assurance systems. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, the management of Jodan College was indeed daring to invite the inspector himself. I want to confirm to the graduates, to the general public, that indeed Jodan College of Technology is accredited by TVETA under Section 20 of the TVET Act, Cap 210A. The courses are licensed. And therefore, I want to give you the confidence, because quality assurance then applies not just to you, the graduates, to the public, to the parents, to the government generally. Therefore, I want to assure them that what you have gone through is valid. As I finish, ladies and gentlemen, the new frontier of conmanship in TVET and its training currently is in medical training. Of course, the government has signed several bilateral agreements with various other countries in the world. And because of the push to export labor, the medical skills are one area where there's a lot of emphasis. That therefore then brings in some unscrupulous fellas who masquerade as trainers based on no curriculum, based on no accreditation, based on no license. Eventually, these people will give you certificates that cannot be used anywhere. They're not valid. It's just a piece of paper. Therefore, I want to say that the authority works with various professional regulatory bodies, notably the Kenya Health Professions Oversight Authority, the 𝐾HPOA, that has been mentioned here. And from my record, 𝐾HPOA inspected Jodan College of Technology and ascertained compliance to training standards for courses in healthcare support assistant, medical engineering level 5 and 6, perioperative theater technology level 5 and 6. Just 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting with them, and these are the things we're emphasizing. For those who are attending this function and maybe are also running a college out there, or maybe you want to admit trainees in other colleges out there, confirm that indeed the institutions are registered, and that where they're doing a professional course that has a professional regulatory body out there, that has as well given them the green light to proceed. The inclusion of medical-related courses reflects the college's progressive approach to meeting the diverse needs of the labor market. Mabibi na mabwana, kwa hivyo nikimaliza nataka kuwapongeza tu nyinyi ambao mnamaliza kusoma leo. Sio mwisho wa safari, ndio safari inaanza. Na waombeni sana, baraka za Mwenyezi Mungu. Asanteni.
Thank you so much, our chief guest. Asante sana, ladies and gentlemen. Let's appreciate our chief guest with some hearty claps. Tumpigie makofi. Asante sana, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.